some bit of issues with that, because I would wonder the extent to which Parliament's findings can be full and complete if they're not going to speak to the real actors, the people who are actually in the forefront of things. One would expect that these are the people that Parliament should actually be speaking to or engaging. And so until and unless I have sufficient reason finished or actually given to me, which justifies Parliament not speaking to them, for which I can really not fathom one in the abstract, then it's quite difficult to understand why Parliament will speak to the regulators and oversight persons or personalities without speaking to the real actors, because the real actors are the people who are in the forefront. And I can imagine that in the jurisdictions where parliamentary and, if you like, congressional hearings are, if you like, serious business of state on a daily basis, so to speak, they actually do this on a daily basis. In those countries, I can imagine that ordinarily this would have been the case. Parliament would have spoken to the people who actually mattered. So it's hard to, as it were, conjecture Parliament in the abstract or second-guess Parliament, but I can find very little justification in Parliament not speaking to these persons, given the fact that they're at the forefront of things. So I would hope that somehow there's a public justification of this.
If you juxtapose this with the fact that these hearings are going to be in camera and are going to be for a limited period, what do you make of Parliament's posturing on this issue generally?
I think Parliament could have gone a step further to build confidence in the minds of Ghanaians, not only about what is happening, but about its own work. I think one reality which Parliament cannot run from in Ghana generally is that over the years, Parliament has suffered this public reputation of being a rubber stamp, if you like, of the executive usually. So this is another golden opportunity for Parliament to demonstrate its capacity, not only to deliver on these things, but its capacity to deliver on its constitutional mandate. I have always said that if you look at the structuring of our institutions in the Constitution, Parliament is actually the strongest institution. And traditionally, I have asked my law students in examinations to answer the question that Parliament is supposed to be the strongest institution theoretically, but in practice it has turned out to be the weakest. And part of the problem for Parliament over the years, of course, as we all know, is the political fragmentation of that institution. So you have the NDC and the MPP and the other parties, everyone defending their political interest. And therefore the corporate Parliament itself, which is intended by the constitutional framers, we're still waiting for it to fully emerge. And so I thought that this will present again yet another opportunity for Parliament to demonstrate not only a bipartisan approach and therefore a corporate unity in terms of how it does its work, but actually ensure that on this particular occasion it delivers on its mandate. And so for Parliament again to, one, be speaking of hearing this in camera, which again, with the greatest respect to the very seasoned and most respectable persons in that institution, I have been struggling to find a justification for this within the context of the things under which Parliament is supposed to hold things in camera, such as national security and things of delicate nature. In this particular case, we are already on a low. People already have lost some degree of confidence in the, if you like, the banking industry, and we are trying to recoup and rebuild that. In this particular case, the rumors and the suspicions are all over the place. And so the least we can do now is to build confidence, is to clarify issues, is to unearth a number of the suspicions and allegations that are flying around, many of which may not be true in the first place. Now, to hold it in camera would rather be to deepen these existing allegations and suspicions, which are not going to go away. And so, in that respect, I have a difficulty in understanding the justification for the in-camera hearing, which is normally and often reserved for the kinds of things that are ordinarily not good for public consumption. This is a stakeholder engagement. Everybody in this country, or virtually everybody in the formal sector in this country, has money in the banks. And so for stakeholders who are involved, who cannot be trusted to, as it were, hear the things that affect that sector, for which already there's so much information, or rather misinformation out there, which needs to be clarified. I think we rather may feed into the allegation mail without helping ourselves. Okay. Not to mention also the fact that, look, we are dealing with participatory democracy in this context, and parliamentarians are supposed to represent constituencies. Part of the reason that is because there's a practical difficulty of all of us representing ourselves. So somebody represents us. Now, if we have a means of reaching out to the constituents, the people for which MPs represent, why do we avoid that, but rather base ourselves on allegations of this being one of national sensitivity, which already, as I indicated, we're already on a low, for which helped in terms of getting back on a high. And the only way we can do that is to clarify existing allegations and suspicions. So that's quite difficult to justify, if you ask me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Abotsi, for joining us. He's a lawyer, and he's also with the Gimpa Law School. We'll go on the other line immediately and speak with the Commissioner for SHRAJ, that's the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Joseph Whittal. Good morning, Mr. Whittal. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
What are your perspectives on this probe that Parliament is about to embark on?
Well, from my perspective, I think Parliament needs to gauge the mood of the country very carefully. It appears the decision to hold an in-camera investigation into this banking saga, if they think carefully, they will rather go public. Because it's about transparency. If you look at the current signals from the public, it doesn't augur well for Parliament to draw itself into the imbroglio. People are losing confidence in state institutions that were mandated to regulate the banking sector. People are shocked at the governance failures. And so for you to attempt as a people's representatives to delve into the issues that led to this collapse, it will be important to carry the people along, and that is by holding open, transparent hearing so that the people can judge for themselves. After all, you are going to tax them. It's their taxpayers' money that you are going to use to bail out the banks. So they deserve to know, and to know for themselves and to participate actively. This issue of holding an in-camera investigation and bringing out a report, to me, I don't think it sits well in the situation we find ourselves. So Parliament should tread cautious.
Now, Mr. Whittal, what would be the outcome that you would expect from this? SHRAJ is a body that carries out investigations itself. And so looking at the persons who are going to be invited, the fact that it's going to be central bank officials, the audit firms, PwC, KPMG, and Consolidated Bank Ghana officials, again, one loud and one very, very conspicuously absent body would be directors of the banks which themselves collapsed. As an investigator, the head of an investigative body, when you look at an investigation with that methodology, what outcome would you expect?
Well, when you talk about outcome, I wouldn't want to rush to judgment. What is important is that we should all understand that the principles undergirding the Constitution that we are all operating include transparency and accountability. And so even if you are a Bank of Ghana official, you are just like anybody else who is holding state power and ought to be accountable. For me, it is not about the personalities who are involved. It's not about the institutions. It's about a call on by the people for accountability. We have appointed you to take charge and to regulate the sector, the banking sector. We are being told that our monies that we have been putting in certain banks will no longer be there. And you are going to tax us again to make that up. So don't we as a people deserve to understand what went into this failure? How did it happen? What steps should we take to avert future occurrences of such nature and to breathe confidence back into the sector? Because if you look at both domestically and internationally, the banking sector of Ghana is under serious suspicion. And we need to clear that. The only way you can clear that is by letting people come, those who are responsible, not only in terms of leading to the collapse of the banks, but those who were responsible for regulating the banks, those who were responsible for the governance of the banks, to come and tell the story, what led to it. Because it didn't happen overnight. Something has been there, but we have not been, I don't know how to put it, we have failed to look at it critically.
Mm. So, Mr. Whittal, finally, with Parliament's position being this one, that they would like to hold it away, would you say that Parliament is representing its people enough? Do you think the elected are representing the electorate in a complete way?
Well, maybe from their perspective, they think they are representing the people very well by shielding whatever may come out in the open and teleguiding outcomes. But I think they ought to wise up. There are too many issues that the committees of Parliament have attempted to investigate. And from my perspective as an investigator, they either took wrong steps or the outcomes have not been satisfactory. Even when those committees were publicly aired. And so if you now go in camera,
I wake up in the morning,
there will be issues. So I think they are not representing the people very well if they don't allow the people to participate actively, hearing for themselves the questions they themselves as committees of Parliament are putting to the people, because Parliament itself is under scrutiny. We need to all understand that.
Right. Mr. Joseph Whittal, thank you very much for joining us. He is the Commissioner for SHRAJ, SHRAJ being the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice. I'll come to Malik and Enimwa in the studio for them to also give us their thoughts on what is happening. You can also send in your messages on 0244 340 437. 0244 340 437. It's a Super Morning Show. Enjoy. 99.7 FM. I am Daniel Dazi. We'll be back after this.
I wake up in the morning, it's a new day, and I got bills that I have to pay. Now you're running late, running out of time. Feels like the world is waiting in line.
Yeah, what's the way I say? Ube phone. Now I dial star 737 hash. Entinia we bia. Enipa we biano. Ekwan how bia ni wo homo bia. Abrabo enye din ni akiri kra. E won sa no ene yia so magic ni hwe. Ni nyina hya ase wo star 737 hash. GT Bank star 737 hash so die. Utumi bia account foforo wo phone so. Eto airtime, etuaka. DSTV ni subscriptions. E check your account balance. Link your MTN mobile money account ni GT Bank account. Na transfer sika ma busuafo ni namfofo. Eye koko kra.
I don't need to write or cash a check. I don't need data or internet. I have something that's faster than a jet. Just like
what they're talking about.
You could be a palm wine supper, a teacher, a rapper, a schoolboy, or a school girl, or a trader, a bank MD, a chairman, or a baker.
Guaranteed Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Don't come me. Hey, 10 pesos, 10 pesos. Vodafone is 10 years old and is giving you an anniversary gift of 10 times bonus and 10 pesos call rate across networks. Browse for 10 pesos per megabyte. Call Vodafone or any other network at the same rate of 10 pesos per minute. That's not all, oh. Share your scratch card with 2 more people the Kikimi style, and the 3 of you will each enjoy 10 times the value of your card. Dial star 135 hash to subscribe. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800-222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
Would you buy a blade that doesn't cut? How about a freezer that doesn't cool enough to freeze? And what of medicine that wouldn't cure you or take your pain away. No way. So why would you buy a mattress that does not provide you with good quality sleep and rest? As humans, we spend about a third of our lives in bed. Since you are going to spend that much time, wouldn't you rather be lying on a mattress that is clean and just right for your body? Be smart. Treat yourself well. Don't spend 1/3 of your life sleeping on the wrong mattress. Or else, you do yourself. Latest Foam, your partner for life.
Move on up, 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 up. Moving on up is paying from your phone and getting looks of approval from your friends. Moving on up is doing all your banking from your bathroom like a boss. Moving on up is losing your wallet, but your money is still safe. Moving on up is attaching any bank's card to the EcoBank mobile app. Oh yeah, download the EcoBank mobile app. Make we go and bank like a boss.
Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Oh, hello, Amma. Long time, oh.
Oh, I've been standing here knocking, sir. Where were you?
Oh, I'm very sorry. I actually saw you in my cameras when you were walking in, but I was on a long-distance video call with a big cousin in the UK.
How are you able to do that?
Haven't you heard of the broadband service from Telesol? They offer fast speed with vast internet bundles to choose from and very affordable monthly rates.
Wow, is that so?
Yes, so they offer both 4G and fiber broadband.
Go on, tell me more.
And Telesol is fully Ghanaian.
I'm rushing right away to contact them. Any more details?
Yes, you can contact Telesol today for further details on 0303 975 342 or 344 or toll free on 0800 900,000 or visit www.telesol4g.com. Telesol 4G, just a touch.
It's 13 minutes past 8 here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Daniel Dazi here with Enimwa Enimado and Malik Abbas Dabo. We just spoke with Kofi Abotsi, legal practitioner. He's with the Gimpa Law School and also a private lawyer himself. We also just spoke to Joseph Whittal, who is commissioner for Shraj. Both of them disagree strongly with Parliament's decision to hold the probe into the collapse of 7 banks in Camera. Mr. Abotsi also finds it difficult to find out, to see why Parliament will decide not to invite executives or directors of the collapsed banks. Now, with Mr. Whittal, he believes that this is not representative enough of the people they represent, considering how already there's a huge outcry for a public hearing. I'm going to come to my friends in studio and I'll give you, the listener, also the opportunity to comment on this matter. But let me start with you anymore.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Raphael from Ashongman before I go to my own thoughts. He says, how fair will the report from parliamentary probe into the collapse of the 5 banks be when those who presided over the alleged mismanagement will not be invited? This will leave room for the report to be discredited eventually. There's no need for the parliamentary probe then if Iyoko is interrogating the matter. And you find that a lot of people share very similar sentiments about the directors not taking the stand. Now, I'm not a law student and I'm not a lawyer, but I have seen that in many trials, there's often 2 ways to approach it. There are times when the accused takes the stand, and there are times when everybody but the accused takes the stand in order to build a case where the evidence speaks, because sometimes the thing that really decides the matter is the testimony of the accused, and sometimes that's not a good thing. I think that's what's going on here. It looks as if Parliament is seeking for the evidence that has been found to speak, as opposed to a direct testimony from the directors. But I find it funny that this is what is happening, because if you can get clarity and if you can get a better understanding of what happened by speaking to these people who are available, then I don't know why we would choose the route not to, apart from perhaps not subjecting them to trial by fire or trial by the populace or trial by the media, which then suggests that maybe we might be protecting them on some level. But why would we protect them when we're paying almost 9.4 billion CDs for the mess that they have created, really? Is it a question of protecting the elite, protecting the powerful? Is it about the interest of the masses? What exactly is at the heart of it? I haven't heard any explanation that has satisfied my curious mind on this matter as to why they are not testifying. And perhaps we should put more pressure. I don't know if it will work. I hope that it will, in getting them to talk about it. So that's what I think about the directors not actually talking. I mean, with the in-camera, we talked about this a few weeks ago. We have all said that it should be out there, but we also kind of understand why perhaps it is not. Because the thing about information is that by the time it goes from one medium to another, it's subject to interpretation, and there's so many things. So perhaps we're being asked to trust those who are listening to give us a fair interpretation of what has been said. Is that a good thing? I'm not too sure, because I would like to think that the majority of Ghanaians are able to hear something and decipher the truth from it, especially considering how much church we go to as Ghanaians. Perhaps we should pray for the spirit of discernment so that we can actually discern the truth. And that was just
but then again, anymore, to what you said about there being a concern about how information is disseminated from one medium to another, that is what rather makes the case for a public hearing.
No, but the thing is,
if we have concern about how people would hear it, and then we can all go to the source material ourselves.
Yes,
because we all know how it's going to be.
But what you're saying is actually cementing my point. And my point is that when the information comes out, the way you and I may analyze it will be different from the way Manik will analyze, the way Raymond will analyze. But what is happening is that there's a group of people who are going to sit down, listen to what is being said, decide that this is what has been said, and then put out one statement of interpretation.
That statement of interpretation will still be analyzed by
perhaps,
you, I, and Malik.
It
the
will
point
be
I'm
a
making
much more
is that
protected statement.
No, that is the point. It's the protection that is off, because after you, I, and Malik have analyzed source data, that is, have analyzed the actual testimonies of these persons, anybody listening across the world can go on YouTube, can go on Facebook, and go and listen to the tapes himself.
But you also
and then make a decision. And then make a decision on what was actually said, and then add that to our analysis. The persons can then come out, because you see, the point is that when the information comes out, the analysis and it's passing through different media will happen anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but what I am doing is playing the devil's advocate, because I don't agree.
I understand.
But I'm trying to get into the minds of why something that should be so obviously done is not being done. And I think that we have a responsibility to do that, as opposed to state the obvious, which is we should all be part of this conversation.
I understand you're playing the devil's advocate. It's a very difficult job right now.
Okay, thank you. May I continue with my submission?
Yeah, in a minute.
Oh, Malik.
Anyway, if you want to finish in a minute.
Okay, fine, Malik. You go ahead, and then I'll come in later.
Anyway, Daniel, if anyone's arguments held, then all of the public hearings that parliamentary committees, Parliament itself has held or have held over the past would not have been necessary. Remember when there was an allegation that a particular nominee for ministerial appointment, when the person appeared before the Appointments Committee of Parliament after the vetting, the person presented money to somebody to be given to members of the Appointments Committee. This allegation was made. There was a public hearing. It was not only that. There have been a number of claims that have been made, and there have been public hearings by Parliament itself. That convinces me that Parliament itself recognizes that there is value in holding these public hearings. And usually when these decisions are taken, what we are told is that Parliament wants to engender confidence and wants to demonstrate transparency in the manner in which Parliament conducts its business. Is the reason why, in fact, sitting itself is done publicly. Parliamentary debates are made publicly. The election petition 2013 was heard publicly. So why do we now take such an important decision as this, and we are going to do in-camera hearing and check the amount of money that was alleged to have been given to the MPs? How much was it? How many were the members of Parliament's appointments committee? How much was involved? Here we are talking billions, and our representatives have decided that for them, first of all, they will not hear the persons whom it is alleged played roles that brought us to where we are. And curiously, they are going to talk to the Consolidated Bank, which is the result of the actions or inactions of these people, which brought us where we are and has necessitated the creation of the Consolidated Bank. So you are going to talk to the Consolidated Bank, a less than 3-month-old bank, and asking them what? Looking for what information? Because the people who took the decisions that created the need for the Consolidated Bank are those people you say you will not hear. And for me, you don't even do them any justice, because these are people who have been maligned, and we heard the chairman of Public Finance Committee, Dr. Sibe Yabwa, saying, oh, sometimes we make allegations and we go to court and we lose. That is precisely the reason why the people against whom the allegations have been made should be given their natural right to fair hearing. And you should hear them in public, so that all of the people who have heard the allegations against them and have formed their own opinions about these people will hear from the people directly, and they can form informed opinions on the basis of what they have heard. But when you decide on your own, just the few members of Parliament constituting this committee, that you are going to hear the people in camera and then come and give us second-hand information, and we are supposed to believe it, how do you convince anyone that this is not a cover-up? And it's refreshing listening to Mr. Kofi Abotsi and Joe Whittal saying, Parliament has over the years suffered a certain deficit. And when Parliament takes these kinds of decisions, it does not do itself any good. I am convinced, and I truly believe this to be true, that there are great men of integrity in Parliament, very well skilled people, very well educated people, but yet this is the arm of government which is least respected. That in fact, people get to Parliament, and when they are made deputy ministers, they are excited that the deputy minister actually feels more important and better regarded than a member of Parliament. And yet, the member of Parliament has such a crucial role to play. In fact, why should a deputy minister feel more important than a member of Parliament? You represent the people, you speak for them, you pass the laws, you hold the executive accountable, you vet the Superior Court judges. So, how can you feel less important in this society?
Isn't that the decision of the members of Parliament themselves?
Absolutely. So, and it is problematic that this is a Parliament led by the good old Professor Aaron Mike Okwe. This is a man who himself was a member of Parliament. He's the head of Political Science Department of University of Ghana, and he has written and spoken at length about his determination to make Parliament a respected institution.
I'll allow you to continue, but let me open the phone lines whilst you wrap up your point. 0302 216 541 0302 216 541 0244 340 437 0244 340 437. Malik, I have a question for you. Are we not placing too much on Parliament? Yoko is looking into this matter. There are investigative bodies whose outcomes are supposed to go into real results, like persons being jailed if they need to be, like money is being recovered if it has to be.
At this point, Daniel, I don't think the overriding consideration and the overarching objective of the general populace is throwing people into jail. I think people want information, and they are entitled to that information. So what people are asking is Parliament should give them the benefit. Then don't do it. Like Dr. Kuja Asante said, if you won't do it in public, don't do it at all.
Hold on a moment. Let me ask what Raymond from Spintex Road thinks. Good morning, Raymond.
Yeah, good morning, boss.
How's everything?
How are you?
I am blessed. How about you?
Well, God is faithful.
Great.
Yeah,
do you want an in-camera hearing or you want a public hearing?
No, it should be public hearing so that at least we all know what went on and what went wrong, because a lot of people are losing their jobs. And then secondly, the lady in the studio, your Madam Enimwa, made the assertion in the morning during the newspaper review that Professor was once a minister in the Rawlings administration. It was the brother, not Prof. Yanka.
Okay, and we are not talking about Prof. Yanka, are we? Then the paper we read was not Prof. Yanka.
Yeah, she said she was once a minister in Rawlings administration. When he said, Mama should think twice.
Right.
Yes,
okay, thank you. Thank you, Raymond, for calling. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy FM. Thanks for the feedback anyway. It's 27 minutes past 8. You can also call and let us know what you think about this in-camera hearing. Nee is calling from Asylum Down. Nee, public or in-camera?
Oh, well, I will prefer a public hearing so that we all know what happened. If we don't get to the bottom of this, trust me, we will never change as a country. I believe this is what is going to be. This is what is going to bring the camel's back. This is what is going to change. It's going to change Ghana. If the people involved are not punished, Ghana will never change. Already, the system is rotten. So if this does not help change the system, look, I worked for one of this bank, one of the subsidiaries of one of the banks that collapsed. And trust you me. Hello?
I'm listening.
Trust you me. Look, they can take 3 million Ghana cedis from one bank, transfer it into one of their company's accounts, and a board member or a shareholder of the bank will come back to the company and collect the money physically. And this is a loan. This is money is supposed to be a loan meant to buy stuff for that subsidiary company of that bank that collapsed. Can you imagine? And I saw all this. I advised, and they told me to go and do marketing, and I resigned.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I would ask that you hold on and speak to my producer. I think what you're saying is very interesting, that we'd like to get a bit more information on. So, hold on and speak to my producer. Kobe is calling from Tema. Good morning, Kobe.
Morning. That's it.
Kobe, what radio no? Please reduce your radio volume.
That's right.
Great. So in camera or in public?
The answer is obvious. It should be in public. Look, you guys should open your eyes, open your mind. What they are trying to do is obvious. They want to cover up. They want to look. Mensa Otabo professionally doesn't have the qualification to be the chairman of the board. He doesn't have it. 2, the Unibank, the directors have a case to make when they go for public hearing. They want to cover up. They don't want all those facts to be heard. What they are doing is basically cover up. You guys just open your eyes, open your minds, and you see.
Okay.
True.
Right. Thank you very much, Kobe, for calling. Kobe just called from Tema. You can also call on 0302-216-541 or 0244-340-437. Selom is calling from Jamestown. Good morning, Selom. Hello, good morning, Selom.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, let's hear you. In camera or in public?
Yeah, for me, I want it to be heard in public.
Why?
You see, we have a problem in Ghana. Our parliament is made up of less than 300 people. And the whole of Ghana is almost getting to 30 million. But we vote these people, they go and represent us. They are turning the country to some kind of meritocracy instead of democracy, where democracy is the rule of the people, for the people, by the people. Now they are doing all these things. While the populace are saying we need to hear the things, but they said no, they will decide for us. So this is the country we are in. If you want to sit down, we sit down and work them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Salom. He called from Jamestown. Samuel is calling from Latebiokoshi. Good morning, Samuel. Please reduce the volume on your radio set.
Good morning.
Yes. Samuel, in camera or in public?
Of course, it needed to be in public. I know one thing.
Talk to me.
Let's say about 90 or 80% of these parliamentarians, I am 100% sure, have also taken facilities from these collapsed banks. And so we do not expect them to also get exposed in public. So definitely they will want to do it in camera and come out with a certain report that will suit their interest. So we should forget it. They are doing it in their interest and not in the interest of the public.
Right. What about the decision not to invite the executives of the banks? What do you make of that?
Of course, it's part of the strategy to cover up, because the directors will come in there fully armed to expose those parliamentarians who may have taken facilities from them and still have not returned to the banks that are in question at this moment.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling us, Samuel. That was Samuel from Latebiokoshi. I have with me on the line Kofi Badwima calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Kofi. How's everything?
Hello.
Yes, Kofi, you're on air. In camera or in public?
In public.
Why?
Absolutely in public. Because, you see, the parliamentarians claim that they are there on the interests of the voters, their constituents. Now, things that are of interest to us as constituents must be done in public, because I have my account with Capital Bank. Somebody has his account with other banks. So we want to know what really transpired that led to their abysmal performance. That led to the closure of the bank.
Okay, Kofi, I have a second question. That's why I'm stepping in here.
Assurance that.
Great, Kofi. I'm asking. I have a second question. That's why I'm stepping in here. Do you want the directors of these banks or executives of these banks to be invited?
They should be invited. They should be invited.
Okay.
They should be invited to explain. You see, how can you investigate a case without the directors? How would you know the truth? Oh.
Okay, thank you very much, Kofi Badwima. He called from Kumasi. Asante Dako is calling from Accra. Asante Dako, please reduce the volume on your radio set. If you can, thank you very much. In camera or in public? And then the second question would be, should the directors of these banks be invited?
Good morning. I called not to answer that question.
Asante Dako, we are trying to get answers to the questions. So if you'd like to answer the questions, we'll give you the opportunity. Otherwise, we'll give another person the opportunity to speak. Okay. Thank you very much, Asante Dako, for calling. Paul is on the line from Adenta. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Daniel.
Great.
I think that it should be held in camera.
Okay.
It is not for nothing that Parliament is made the masters of their own rules. And I think that we should get to a point where we believe that our members of Parliament are there for our own interest.
Okay. So you feel we should trust them?
In camera, and we should believe that they are there for our own interest, so that whatever it is that they do, we will get the correct representation and the correct questions and the correct responses from them.
Thank you, Paul.
For your second question,
yeah,
I wish all the directors are invited. I think they are all relevant in this matter. Thank you.
Right. I wanted to ask Paul that since we are trusting the members of Parliament, shouldn't we trust their decision not to invite? But I appreciate the dissenting view. We haven't heard one all morning. Good morning, Nana Kwame calling from Accra. Nana, you know the questions, right?
Yeah. I think it should be held in public. That's cool.
Okay.
And I wanted to correct something. Professor Yanka is a minister in Akufo-Addo, yes, but his brother, Professor Yanka, also AUCC, was also in the NDC coming during president.
Nana Kwame, the line is not clear at all, unfortunately.
I'm saying that Professor Yanka is a minister in Akufo-Addo's government, and his brother, another Professor Yanka of AUCC, was also a minister in Rawlings State's government. I think somebody was getting it wrong somewhere.
Yes. So we were referring to the one who of Professor Yanka of the AUCC. right? But it was of course the newspaper story. It was a Daily Guide, I believe. Yeah, it was a Daily Guide story.
Sure.
But thank you very much for the inputs, Nana Kwame. There's a second question on whether directors should be invited.
They should be invited.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, Nana Kwame. He called from Accra. You can also call on 0302-216-541 or 0244-340437. I'll take my last caller, Jackson, calling from Dansoman, and then we'll take some messages. Good morning, Jackson.
Good morning, Daniel. Thank you for the good work you people are doing for Managana.
Great.
Yeah, your first question, we have to go to public. They have to go to the public. They have to do everything so that the public watch, the citizen watch, because this thing can affect everybody. And your second question, yes, the director, they have to invite everybody and do proper investigation about them.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jackson. Kept it very short for us. It's 24 minutes to the top of the hour here on the Super Morning Show. Anyway, let's take some of the messages that have come through and then we'll switch over.
Okay, this one says the masses are against and our security is not at risk. Why then in camera? Ghanaians know it is because of Mensa Otabil. John from Tamale, he says, I think some should be done in public while others should be done in camera. The decision not to invite the directors is misplaced and no need to even sit on the case at all. Finally, I would like to know the minority's position on this. This one says, Daniel, I think we do not have an honest parliament and government. People in higher offices always get away with crime. This banking scandal will become another swept away issue and business will be back as usual. Would this have happened in a serious country with serious people who make the law bite? You remember Ben Madoff incident in the USA and the investigation by the Senate on Facebook and its CEO. I gave up on justice and the rule of law before I was born because our laws are only written and applied to the poor, voiceless in society and not the one in a V8. I am a victim today. That's from Makosby. Yaron Tema says, Daniel, the purpose of in-camera sittings on the bank is plain to see. It's just a cover-up. I doubt not that the MPs have vested interests in the collapsed banks. Nana Jiman says, if you want to restore confidence of the banking sector to the public, then it should be in public and not in camera. Kofi Frimpong says, why are we worried when Parliament have decided whom to meet? Parliament has every right to decide what to do and what not to do. If one has a problem, his advice, that's Kofi's advice, is to let that person go to court.
Good morning, Kofi Frimpong. Good morning, everyone. Thanks to everyone for calling and texting as well. I'm wondering how Makosby gave up on the rule of law
before he was
born.
Yeah.
You would have to come again with that text to explain. I think Elliot also has something to say.
He said, wait in Parliament, they talk. Big joke in our Parliament. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to take these important messages and then we'll take your concerns about the placement of students in SHS to the GES directly. We've been taking your messages. We'll be writing them down copiously since the beginning of the show. But if you have any questions about the placement of 419,000 students in various SHSs, maybe you have tried accessing the system and you do not have, you face some difficulties or some challenges, you can put them through to us on text and WhatsApp 0244 340-437. You can also tweet at us at Joy997FM or go on our Facebook page, Joy99.7FM. The hashtag is JoySMS. This is the Super Morning Show, and we'll be right back.
It's a new day. I want you to first think big, not small. Think of how great we can be when we work together. Together, we can ensure that our hard work will provide a better future. Together, we can provide a foundation for you and your business to succeed, regardless of its size. Together, we can create opportunities for all. Bank with us today and let's journey forward together.
Forward together.
Cowbank, forward together.
It's time to own a hotel-inspired apartment near Accra Mall and switch on your urban life with a cool price starting from 315,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, you heard me. Choose our market-leading studio, 1, 2, or 3-bedroom apartment from Oasis Park Condominium at Tetekwashi and enjoy urban resort life. For this and more, call Evelyn on 0204 343 011 or Kojo on 0204 343 008. This is another kitted development by CPL Developers. CPL Developers, built for life.
Blow the candles, sound the trumpet, and scream! Media is 50! Media, your #1 air conditioner and appliance manufacturer, is 50 years old. 50 years of top-notch quality, and we're celebrating it big. Starting from 15% discount on appliances from any Media showroom or authorized reseller. Join the celebration of Media at 50. We have amazing home appliances at great discounts. Tabletop fridges starting at 499 Ghana cedis. 4-burner gas cookers starting at 799 Ghana cedis. Chest freezers are also starting at 799 Ghana cedis. Blow the candles, sound the trumpet, and scream! And so many appliances for you to choose from. One so better, dear. Remember, it's a celebration. It's Media at 50 big sales on appliances. Visit a Media showroom or authorized reseller now, or call us on 0503 400 600. It's the Media at 50 promotion. Terms and conditions apply.
The other day, as I was in my kitchen preparing my special jollof made with lily rice for my family, I heard a knock at the door. It was my mechanic. Instead of calling me to pick my car, he bought it himself. I said, "Cho," he said, "F-O." I said, "Take the car back. I will come and pick it myself." As I turned off the fire from under the lily jollof, there was another knock at the door. It was my neighbor. I said, neighbor. He said, "F-O, my dog has jammed your wall again, oh." I said, "Don't be silly. You don't have a dog." My wife and kids came home, and we saw that he enjoyed. So, it was my pastor. He said, "Bless you." I said, "Bless you too." He said, "Did he come to church on Saturday?" I said, "Acho, but why are you coming to tell me this on Wednesday?"
Having to fend off visitors at mealtimes because of Lele's tasty aromatic rice? Celebrate every mealtime by sharing with friends and family, near or far. Lele. Tasty food, happy family.
Acho.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Food and Drugs Authority.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Passion Air, the newest airline in the Ghanaian domestic market. Passion Air offers commercial services to Kumasi, Tamale, and Takrady, as well as charter services within Ghana and the West African sub-region. At Passion Air, we make air travel an experience with you, the customer, our focus. We offer a reliable, comfortable in-flight service with sufficient legroom, on-time departure, and above all, excellent customer service experience. We just don't fly you. We give you an experience. For reservations, visit us at www.flypassionair.com or call us on our toll-free 0800-221-221 or visit a travel agency near you. Book and make payment online with MasterCard, Visa, mobile money, ADB branches nationwide, and selected banks. Life is nothing without passion. Fly with Passion Air and experience the passion. Passion Air, Aquaba.
What's your thing? A high baller, always after the bigger picture. Living your life in boardrooms, transiting through VIP lounges into first or business class. Sipping on some whey while flipping through pages of FT and Bloomberg. What's your thing? Your life is busy and your schedule is crazy. But when you can make some time, you try to unwind with some jazz or high life. Over some drinks with friends, but the business talk never ends, even at the bar. Live the life you love on the go with the Stanbic Bank mobile app. Stanbic Bank, moving forward.
Are you ready for business opportunities from 15 countries? Visit Power Elect Ghana, Construct Ghana, Ghana Motor Show, Auto Parts West Africa, and Ghana Mine Expo from the 6th to the 8th of September at the Trade Fair Center under the patronage of the Government of Ghana, the High Commission of India in Accra, Federation of Indian Export Organizations, Ministry of Economy of the Republic of Turkey, and other stakeholder organizations. Come, network, and establish business relations at Ghana's largest multi-sector international exhibitions and conference. Entry is absolutely free. See you there.
Where to next? With Brussels Airlines, the world is yours.
Uncle, you're packing again?
Aha! I swore that in 2018 I will travel more often. And you always have to keep to your good resolutions.
Where are you going?
Family reunions, sightseeing, shopping. With Brussels Airlines, take off to the world. Book by 10 September and enjoy attractive fares to all our destinations.
Brussels Airlines, we go the extra smile.
There's a reason everyone talks about togetherness, the strength in numbers, the longevity of community, the success togetherness brings. So it's a good reason that the Ghana Stock Exchange set out to bring companies and investors together to foster business growth and fuel individual wealth creation together. Because when we come together, things work for everyone's good. Raise long-term capital for your business or buy shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange today and see the prosperity it brings to all. Visit us on the 5th and 6th floors, City House, Liberia Road, or call us on 0302-669-908 or 669-935 or visit www.gse.com.gh or talk to a licensed stockbroker for more information. Ghana Stock Exchange, bringing companies and investors together since 1989.
Same great bank, helping you grow.
Do you have challenges transferring money to your friends or customers with accounts at other banks? Are you worried at the delays with other banks' checks you deposit into your account? Do you have challenges paying your workers or suppliers instantly across banks? You don't need to wait for 2 days anymore. Walk into any ADB branch today and send your money instantly to any account in Ghana, or link ADB Instant Pay to your accounting software for all salaries and payments. You can also access ADB Instant Pay service on our mobile banking app, internet banking, and star 767 hash. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
With MTN Protect, this is my story.
All these downloads, and I still have so much memory thanks to the cloud backup.
Oh, wow. Thanks to the anti-theft feature, I can track and lock my phone even when it goes missing.
What's your story? Make the right decision by securing information on your mobile phone with MTN Protect. Text SD to 1359 and experience real security solutions like cloud backup, antivirus, anti-theft, and a lot more everywhere you go.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
A placement, doing emailing, checking the placements, and we'll be asking the GES to answer some of those questions shortly. Someone says, please, good morning. I dialed the short code that was given to us by the GES for the placement of schools, but when I did dial, they told me the service is not available. Please try later. Since GES says GES released the CSSPS letter, I've been trying to buy the tracker card to look for my ward school placement, but I'm told that service is not ready yet. Kindly ask officials of GES when parents can start using that code star 713 star 24 hash to begin the process. What's your challenge? Send it in on 0244 340 437 and 0302. Well, that's the phone line. But it's 0244 340 437. Tweet at us at Joy997FM. Go on our Facebook page, Joy99.7 FM. Use the hashtag JoySMS. Now, Africa is full of potential. People are getting things done. Businesses are on the rise, and Absa Group is tapping into this can-do spirit. As one of the largest companies listed on the JSE Top 40 Index on Africa's largest stock exchange, Absa Group delivers award-winning expertise to enable people and businesses to realize their possibilities daily. Absa Group, proudly serving Ghana as Barclays. For more, visit www.absa.africa. Now, Roverman Productions, in partnership with Joy FM and the National Theatre, presents for the first time a one-man show by Uncle White himself, titled A Crazy Ride. It's a fantastic journey of wit, fun, total laughter, and everything crazy. Come with an open mind and ribs to spare. I watched A Crazy Ride last weekend, and I'm telling you, it's definitely worth the 80 Ghana City ticket. I laughed my head off. Now, it's taking place this weekend as well, on the 8th and 9th of September at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Call 0505 546 010 or WhatsApp 0505 546 030 for tickets. And the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, present Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition Guys 2018 under the theme International Partnerships for Value-Added Industrial and Local Content Developments from 18th to 20th of September 2018 at the Accra International Conference Center. You can book your place now for conference, exhibition space and networking sessions. For further inquiries, call 0244 933 106 or 020 999 6002. Now, DSTV and Vodafone are partnered to bring you the best entertainment whilst at home and on the go. Get unlimited access to watch all the latest scandalous Telemundo series, entertaining kids cartoons for the long vacation, and the new soccer season, which includes Italian Serie A. Connect from wherever you are on up to 4 mobile devices with the DSTV Now app and the Vodafone Showtime bundle for only 1 Ghana cedi for the daily unlimited bundle. All you need to do is be an active DSTV subscriber, download the DSTV Now app and dial *900# to access the Vodafone Showtime bundles. Call 0302 740 540 for more information. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready? DSTV, feel every moment. Okay, so we'll talk placement of SHS students later. We have with us on the line Erastus, Asare, Donkor. We understand there have been some panic withdrawals in First Allied Savings and Loans, Kumasi. Good morning, Erastus.
Yeah, good morning.
Great. So what's the situation with First Allied?
Well, what we do know is that this started about, I'm referring to panic withdrawal. That is what we have on our hands at the moment concerning First Allied Savings and Loans. It started small at the Swami branch, and then gradually it has spread across all the 27 branches across Ghana for the savings and loans. Now, we are having many of their customers trooping to their various banking halls on a daily basis, demanding their monies. Initially, I'm told that they started solving the problem by using depositors' funds, the funds that they can accrue from their SUSU collection to pay or solve the liquidity issues. Now, it went to an extent that they've depleted all their funds, and now more customers are coming in. Now, the information we are getting is that it started with some people spreading the information that the bank actually belongs, the Savings and Loans Company belongs to former boss of the GFA, Kwesi Nyantachi, and that he has withdrawn his fat share of the Savings and Loans Company, and so the bank is collapsing. And that went on social media and it went viral, and now many customers are trooping to their banks at the branches trying to take out their monies. And so that is the problem they have now. I've spoken with the bank officials, and what they're saying is that they are not closing down the bank because they are a savings and loans company. They've given loans to many people who are servicing the loans. And so to say to people that come and take your funds means collapsing the bank, and they are not ready to do that. And so they are currently embarking on a media sensitization program which is starting today to tell them that the bank is not collapsing, but the panic withdrawals will rather collapse the bank. And so people should take heart and have some trust in the managers of the savings and loans. company.
So what we know is that from what you're telling us, first of all, the people thought the bank was collapsing, and then there was a run on the bank. People wanted to take their money out, and then it actually started affecting the bank because so many people, when they wanted their money, the bank could not pay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And it started small, and so the officials thought they could manage it, and then gradually the misinformation went out. It went on social media, went viral. And now more people are coming in to take their funds. And so their problem is a panic withdrawal. And many of their funds are lodged in loans and other things, which they cannot go for or demand at the moment. It's a problem with...
Are depositors able to access their funds now?
Well, some need, and...
Erastus, the line is going bad.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yes, it's much better.
Yeah. Paid. They managed to pay when it started about months ago. They managed to pay whoever came to the bank. Now, at a point in time, they have some issues with funds. And so now their funds are getting depleted and they are not getting deposits. Their SUSU schemes are not working because when the collectors go to the market centers, the information is out there that the bank is collapsing, and so people are not willing to give their monies. And so they are having issues with funds, and currently they cannot pay. That is the problem at the moment.
When was the last time that a customer of the bank came with this sort of complaint that they've not been able to get their monies? And how much money are we talking about? I mean, we just want to get a sense of what the issue is at the bank branches.
Well, we've had complaints from the Adum branch in Kumasi, where many of the customers troop in on a daily basis, some demanding monies ranging from 500 Ghana cedis to somewhere 5,000 Ghana cedis. Initially, they were able to pay part of it. Now, it's getting bigger and bigger every day. The numbers are increasing. More people are going to the banking halls trying to take out their money. And that is what is depleting their funds. And people do not have confidence now, and so they are not patronizing the SUSU schemes as they used to. And so they are not getting deposits as well. And so that is their problem at the moment. Now, it's a big deal trying to get the management of the company to go all out and tell customers that, no, the bank is not collapsing. We have given the monies as loans to people. That is how we get the dividends. And for people to buy into that and stop the panic withdrawals, then they can raise funds and get back on their feet. And that is what they are doing now.
Right. Erastus, Asare Donkor, thank you very much for that update. But then before we go, since this communication by the bank began, how have the people been taking it? Is there still a run on the bank? Are people beginning to have more trust? I mean, on the company, because it's a savings and loan company. Are people still trying to access their funds? Do people have more confidence since the company began responding to these concerns?
Well, it took the company, I must say, the problem worsened because it took the company some time to come out in the public domain to tell the people what the actual problem is. And that is what worsened their plight. Now they are going all out. In the last a couple of days they started. We are yet to see the significance of that translate into how people will take it in the coming days. So I must say that if we give ourselves some few days to check at the various halls, we'll be able to gauge whether that message is sinking down well with the people or not. But the company, the management believe that it will work out for them.
Right. Thanks, Erastus Asare Donkor, for that update. A lot happening in Osei Krom Kumasi, where we understand that First Allied Savings and Loans, a company, has been a victim of miscommunication or misconception. Well, it's exactly 9 o'clock. We'll take the Joy Business Minute. I just got this interesting text. It says Asibewa was on the ADB board, so he's been part of their problems. That how does that make him fit to be on the committee? So Asibewa, of course, would be Dr. Mark Asibewa, who was the chairman of the Finance Committee of Parliament. Says he was on the board of ADB, so he's been part of their problems. How does that make him fit to be on the committee? That's the text message that came in. Interesting thoughts there. We'll take the Joy Business Minute. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Time for the Joy Business Minute.
Karen and Daryl here with the latest.
Telecoms giant MTN is today expected to list and start trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange. This comes after the company recorded 1.1 billion cedis in its initial public offering.
The rippling effect of the banking sector crisis may not be ending soon as fund managers face the challenge of attracting new investors to the stock market. Investment banker Delago says the situation is making it difficult to meet benchmarks set by some investors who have lost confidence in the banking sector.
Government is anticipating over 10,000 direct and indirect jobs to be created with the completion of the Temaport expansion project next year that will reduce the growing rate of unemployment among the youth.
And a comprehensive policy to control plastic waste is being worked on for Parliament's consideration in October. That's a firm commitment from the EPA as there's a growing concern about the level of filth in the country, majority coming for plastics.
There are more stories on our website, myjoyonline.com.
And we'll be back at 3:06.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We're on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
Hey, Kwame, what's up here? My brother, my wife has been diagnosed with cancer. What? My brother is here with kidney disease too. Oh, yeah.
Do you know the World Health Organization estimates that over 16,000 new cases of cancers are diagnosed annually in Ghana, and kidney diseases account for 10% of all medical admissions to Kolebu?
But thanks to Glycocritical Illness Plan, GSIP, I have spent over 20,000 Ghana cedis on my younger brother's disease. Yeah. What is GSIP?
Glycocritical Illness Plan, GSIP, provides you with financial support when diagnosed with any critical illness or dread disease such as cancers, strokes, kidney failures. Speak to GlycoLife today on 0302-218-500 for your GSIP policy. It is definitely in our interest to survive. GlycoLife, we cushion you for life.
From the capital city of Ghana, let Air Peace seamlessly connect you to the beautiful lands of the west coast of Africa through the tourist islands of Banjul, the peninsular ambience of Dakar, the captivating coasts of Monrovia, the commercial city of Lagos, and the seat of power, Abuja. From the 2nd of September 2018.
Fly Air Peace from Accra to Banjul, Dakar, Monrovia, Lagos, and Abuja.
Our flights and cabin crew are professional, courteous, and fun.
Check in 2 pieces of free luggage totaling 30 kg in economy and 40 kg in business class, and earn Peace points anytime you fly Air Peace.
For bookings, log on to flyairpeace.com or visit Kotoka International Airport, Accra, or travel agents nationwide.
Air Peace, your peace, our goal.
Roverman Productions in partnership with the National Theatre and Joy FM presents A Crazy Ride by Uncle White. And guess what? It's starring Uncle White himself.
Me? Oh, really? Wow.
Yes, Uncle. This time you're the one in the spotlight, and people are coming to see just how crazy you can be.
Yeah, let's do this.
Watch Uncle White on stage in the one-man show titled A Crazy Ride. Date, September 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th. Time, 4 p.m. Venue, National Theatre. Tickets available at Joy FM, Bond Savings and Loans branches, Frankie's Osu, and all usual outlets. Hotline 050-554-6010. Sponsors, Bond Savings and Loans, Whittal, and Fortune Rice from Wilma. Media partners, myjoyonline.com, adumonline.com, GhanaWeb.com, pulse.com.gh, Logistics Mover, DDP Outdoor, Daily Guide, Gold Street Business, and Websoft Solutions. Groverman Productions. Be the difference.
Every day, we wait for so many things. We wait for the bus. We wait for our lunch to be served. We wait for the workday to be over. We wait for our favorite TV show to begin. But you know what's waiting for you now? The world. Enjoy Emirates special fares to many exciting destinations around the world and earn double Emirates Skywards miles. Book by 10th September for travel from 3rd September 2018 until 31st March 2019. Conditions apply. Visit emirates.com/gh.
Possibilities. Africa is filled with them. People are going places. Businesses are starting up. Things are happening on our continent every day. And as a forward-looking organization, we believe there's no better time or place to do business than right now in Africa. That's why, as one of the largest companies listed on the JSE Top 40 Index on Africa's largest stock exchange, we deliver world-class expertise to grow businesses. So, if you want to go from local to international, we are a truly African organization with global reach. ABSA Group, proudly serving Ghana as Barclays. For more, visit absa.africa. This message is brought to you by ABSA Group Limited.
Mr. Bossman, with all these computers, servers, and electronic equipment, I know they see one cable for the floor cry.
Charlie, you be right too. We they use raised access floors from Interface, so all the cables they hide under the raised access floors. So
this be the solution to the plenty cables where they my computer room for office. Accountant, call Interface now.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
Hello, madam. Mommy has malaria. She said I should come and buy Hexapin and Agazone and Talimodino Nabutolosis.
Hey, Bayo, this malaria and you are stressing like this, get Novamita. Novamita kills malaria parasites and comes in a special pack that fits into your pocket, wallet, or purse, so you never forget your daily dose. And if she has resultant anemia, give her 3FA. 3FA is a blood tonic.
Always get tested for malaria before taking medications. If you are pregnant or a lactating mother, seek medical advice first. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Novamita and 3FA is manufactured and distributed by Pharmanova Limited. Locate them at Osu at number 3 Okodan Street or call 054-3171-894.
Novamita, sort of malaria one touch. Any 3FA, anemia, away. Novamita.
Shower to kill malaria.
When you sit down to take your college finals.
Here we go.
When your dream girl starts giving you her number.
555296.
When you're seconds away from signing an important contract.
Welcome to the team.
When your football idol is about to give you his autograph. You need a pen you can rely on. Big Crystal Original, the long-lasting pen with perfect ink flow. Big Crystal Original.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Passionair, the newest airline in the Ghanaian domestic market. Passionair offers commercial services to Kumasi, Tamale, and Takrady, as well as charter services within Ghana and the West African sub-region. At Passionair, we make air travel an experience with you, the customer, our focus. We offer a reliable, comfortable in-flight service with sufficient legroom, on-time departure, and above all, excellent customer service experience. We just don't fly you. We give you an experience. For reservations, visit us at www.flypassionair.com or call us on our toll-free 0800-221-221 or visit a travel agency near you. Book and make payment online with MasterCard, Visa, Mobile Money, ADB branches nationwide, and selected banks. Life is nothing without passion. Fly with Passionair and experience the passion. Passionair, Aquaba.
coffee in your cup, and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.
Service, there is no PIN code wahala. You can access your money on all ATMs in Ghana or send it to any mobile money wallet using ADB mobile banking app or *767#. Visit our Facebook website or call our hotline 0302-210-210 for more. ADB, truly a Greek and more. Text messages are brought to you by Afrodan. Your back must last you a lifetime, and Glyco Travel Insurance policy we cushion you for life. Afrodan is offering you today the most comfortable chair in the world. The Nightingale Extreme Comfort Chair with over 10 thoughtfully engineered features especially customized for your health and comfort. Go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Feel this chair, you'll be amazed. Now get a Glyco Travel Insurance policy designed to cover travel costs and reduce the risk associated with unexpected events during your international and domestic travels to Europe, the Schengen countries, or anywhere worldwide. Talk to us today on 055-530-5547 or 020-887-6956. Let's help you plan for a peaceful travel abroad. Glyco Travel Insurance, cut the hustle or the convenience. Glyco Life, we cushion you for life. Here's the voice of workers of Top Core Logistics, a subsidiary of Unibank. Listen.
We've not received our salaries, but we've been threatened by our management. It's unfortunate there has not been any effective communication apart from this morning where we had a call that we should attend a meeting. They were told their checks has been freezed, or I don't know how to term it, but...
And all your checks went through the now defunct Unibank?
Yes.
We don't know what the problem is. What we want from them is our salary. And up to now, they didn't say anything to us.
What I want to find out is that you still have your jobs, do you?
No.
You've been sacked?
Yes, and they keep giving us today is 3rd, and more time they pay us 26th, 25th, 24th, and today is 3rd. So we decided to take the motorbikes and see if they will pay us. But yes, still, they are threatening that we should bring the bikes. They will come our homes with police.
Are you contract or permanent staff?
We are permanent staffs. I would say not below 40. The average salary will be between 750 Ghana cedis. And another part of the fear is that if it should be just the logistic, then I think there's something, it has to do with something else. But it's general. Both tellers, cash boys, majority of top staff, I say general, everybody is not paid.
Is it your fear that because of the banking crisis and because Unibank is now defunct, the company may not be able to pay? Is that your fear?
That's one factor of it.
Right now, what do you want?
Our concern right now, the most important part is our package. Looking at the way the things are going, we don't have any concrete assurance because the threat alone they are pulling, there's no proof that shows that we are going to get a package going home. I started working in Top Core Logistics in 2011. So at least I deserve a package if I'm going home tomorrow.
So those are workers of Top Core Logistics who have been laid off, unfortunately. We've been joined online by John Senanu Amegashi, the General Secretary of UNICOF, which are the Union of Workers in the Financial Sector. Thank you, Mr. Amegashi, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
in the first place, after the banking collapse, it was expected that something like this would happen, right? As a union, how prepared were you for the possible layoffs?
Thank you so much, my brother. We least expected that management of these banks would ask the workers to stay away. As we have indicated earlier on, when the governor of Bank of Ghana pronounced the merger of these 5 banks, the underlying statement he made was there wouldn't be immediate loss of jobs. However, as industrial relations practitioners, we have positioned ourselves for any eventuality. So we engage the workers, representatives, and have taken mandate to truly represent them because we were very much aware that all the 5 banks, when merged, all the employees may not be retained. So we had envisaged that and had truly positioned ourselves. So in respect of that, we had communicated our acceptance to represent these banks to the receiver and the administrator of Unibank and did same for the rest of the banks. We are also preparing to have stakeholders meeting to engage Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, the receivers into a meeting so that we can all have the discussions around the matter. We are doing all this so that the workers who may not be taken on board at the consolidated bank can be well taken care of, but not thrown into the street, as we are all witnessing to the 700 members. Let me also state that the 700 members who were asked to stay away from Best Capital were not full staff. They were contract staff. So our advice here again is that even though as contract workers, they should have been engaged so that their contract terms are respected. So we have also engaged the receiver to ensure that the workers are taken good care of, the contract terms are respected, whatever is due them is paid to them. Thank you.
Right. Mr. Amegashi, please hold on a moment. We've been joined on the other line by Dr. Prisa Chumesi Bafo. She's a lecturer at the University of Ghana Economics Department. Now, she specializes in labor markets. Doc, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, Daniel.
Great. Now, again, I asked this question. I asked Mr. Amegashi this question. I want to ask you this one. Did you expect something happening this soon when it comes to worker layoffs as a result of the banking crisis?
Okay, thank you once again, and good morning to your listeners. Yes, it was expected. I mean, given that the banks collapsed with the coming together of the consolidated bank, the expectation is that something is not going on well. That's how come all this happened, especially with the opening of branches all over of some of these collapsed banks. Obviously, a new institution that came up would want to cut down on some of these so that it will cut down on costs, be more efficient and all that. So, I mean, this was expected. As to the timing of the layoffs, nobody could probably put their hands on it, but this was something that was anticipated.
Great. And I think it's the timing that has really caused the problem that we have now, isn't it? Because Mr. Amegashi has again stated that, yes, they knew that there were going to be a job loss, but governments did say that immediately there will not be any job losses. From where you stand now, Doc, do you think that assurance by government was realistic?
In all this, Daniel, you'd have to manage the expectation of the participants in the market, right? And you have to manage it so that you don't create panic and all that. So these are ways that you get to do it. Assure people that, yes, some jobs will be retained, but some will lose their jobs and all that. It's all managing the expectation, if you ask me. But I mean, these were expected, and it is not surprising.
Okay. So you believe that when government said earlier that there will not be any immediate job losses, they were simply managing expectations?
I would rather move in that direction. But on the part of the workers, I hope that, they expected some of these things. But, like all of us, you would hope and pray that your job will be retained by whoever takes up your company. But whenever there is an acquisition, a merger, or in this scenario, a collapse with the formation of a new bank, this was highly anticipated, yes.
Let me go back to Mr. Megashi on the other line. Mr. Megashi, as a union, do you have any arrangements in place for when workers go into tough times like this? There are dues that are paid and what have you. Are there any sort of arrangements like this?
Thank you, my brother. Where we have unionized staff in the institutions, we have provisions in the collective agreement that takes care of termination, redundancy, and even dismissals. But in these 5 banks, sorry to say that they were not unionized, and for that matter, there was no structured arrangement in respect of their exit pay and other emoluments that they stand to benefit. That is why quickly, having engaged us, we also sent proposals to the receivers in respect of what we envisage to be paid to them. Let me also agree partially with my sister. This decision by Bank of Ghana was not taken overnight. So if they had done comprehensive consultation and taken the interest of the workers to be imparted into consideration, the governor wouldn't have come out to announce that there wouldn't be immediate losses. Then a week after that, they start sending people away.
Well, then again, she does have a point, doesn't she? Because it will be obvious to any worker, to any of these banks, that jobs will be lost, whether immediate or in the future. So do we have to fault government for trying to manage, looking at already the way the situation was with a possible run on the banks and persons not really trusting the banking sector?
Thank you, my brother. As I indicated earlier, we envisage that there will be job losses, but not as soon as the announcement was made. So the best thing in our expectation was that broader consultations are held so that workers' expectations are managed. If we can go back into details, they were giving 60-day contracts by the consolidated bank. So we expected that within these 60 days, we engage broadly on whatever we have to do to manage the trauma that the workers would be going through. But to announce the merger, then 2 weeks later, you started sending members away. That is where we have a bit of a challenge. However, as you rightly stated, all the impacted members cannot be taken on board by the consolidated bank. We are very much aware of that. Now, there are processes to go through. They had even asked members to reapply. This is very comforting. Once you reapply, there is this belief that you will definitely go through the process, whether you qualify to be taken or you are not qualified to be taken. That decision, when arrived at, then every impacted member will know that he or she was subjected through the process. However, that is not a matter to be labored about. What we engage ourselves to do is to ensure that those who may not be taken on board are well taken care of in respect of whatever end of package that had to be paid to them.
Okay, let me go to Doc with this question. Doc, will it be economically viable to look at giving severance packages or any way of, any exit packages to these over 1,000 workers who would have to be let go, considering the state that the financial sector is in already?
I believe that, yes, as stipulated in the labor laws, there are procedures that have to be followed when workers are laid off, like you mentioned, to come out with a calculation of a certain amount based on a number of years. All these are done in consultation with the unions. But as the gentleman indicated, these are fragmented workers who are not well unionized. But the issue that arises is this is a new company that has been instituted. There is a receiver to that. So if you work for a company and the company collapses, there is nothing like a severance package. Do you get me? Because, I mean, you have severed the relationship. The company is no longer there for you to, go through the lay-down procedures to come out with. But on a more humanitarian ground and for the economy as a whole, these are things that can be discussed. Look at the welfare and the implications that all these massive layoffs would have on the economy for some amount of severance packages to be given to the workers who have suffered as a result of this. But if you ask me, I don't know, I am not a law expert, the legal framework within which if anybody is not happy about can use, because this is a totally new body that is, in charge of affairs right now.
Actually, Doc, this is what I am actually asking, because knowing the kind of situation that has come, a receiver has been appointed. There's a specific procedure for satisfying persons who need money out of the company before we can get to the workers. It is not believed that we can recoup enough money from the liabilities of these banks before these workers' severances are paid. And so if there's going to be any form of arrangement, it will definitely need to be a special arrangement for the workers by government, right? Now, This is what I am asking, that would that be economically viable? Would a special arrangement like that be economically viable?
A special arrangement like yes, on a more, we have had incidents where, for example, historically, massive retrenchment of public sector workers. Government gave out severance packages, which made a lot of them enter the informal sector to find a livelihood. Yes, so on the part of government, if government decides to come out with a severance package for these workers, that will be attacking the issue on a humanitarian ground, really. But then the question that you would ask is, what signal will government be sending to participants in the economy, as in a private individual sets up a company, the company collapses, and then government steps in to come in, bail out workers because of the detrimental effects. These are discussions that can go on, but I am not quite sure of the precedents that government will be setting. But this is also quite a dicey situation in that, these are 5 banks that have, collectively come down. So government on a more humanitarian ground can do that to salvage the situation, so that the implication in terms of the people who depended on these workers, because studies show that on average for every Ghanaian worker, about 5 to 8 people depend on them. So if people lose their jobs like that and nothing at all is given to them, it could have dire implications on individuals.
Right. So if I'm to understand what you're saying, you believe that on humanitarian grounds, if such a severance were to be paid by government, any sort of special package, it would be a sort of an investment into the economy?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm sure you're happy to hear this, Mr. Megashi.
I'm not happy to hear my sister said that the government should consider this on humanitarian grounds. On what basis were these banks closed and merged? We all heard that the Bank of Ghana directed that they should raise a minimum capital to a certain level. Now, they have been given up to December this year to ensure that this capital is raised. We believe in firmly that if these banks were given the opportunity to engage their shareholders, they should be able to come out to indicate whether they will be able to raise the funds or not. But if the government had directed that these banks are closed and merged, then it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that the workers are not punished unduly for this decision taken. That is why the union would want to engage the government to ensure that they take full responsibility for this action taken. For instance, this is not a normal liquidation of a bank. If they had allowed these individual banks to run for a period and to run into difficulties, then we all understand that they were not able to meet the request from depositors. And for that matter, individually, they must be treated as such. But if the government took a decision to close the banks, merge it, and quickly form a consolidated bank, then as you rightly stated, the receiver must be well positioned himself to reward the workers. This must not be done on humanitarian grounds.
But Mr. Megashi,
it's a matter of policy.
But Mr. Megashi, because, and I'm glad you said that this is not a normal liquidation of a bank, and that's what Dr. Chumesi Balfour was pointing out earlier, that there are legal processes that guide things like this. If you're going to follow those legal processes, financial analysts and economists have made us understand, and lawyers have made us understand, that according to the Banking Act 930, the number of people who would have to be satisfied before we get to the workers, considering that number, it's highly unlikely that the workers will get any money at all. And remember, any burden of servants packages lies with the old bank, not the new entity. So that we cannot use the formation of consolidated bank as a reason to lay a responsibility on government. At least that is our understanding of the law. So at the moment, let me ask, what sort of engagement are we having with government as UNICOF? Are we asking government to, as a matter of fact, take up the responsibility and pay? If so, with what money and at what arrangement?
Our interest in this matter is to ensure that all the impacted staff of these 5 banks are treated in a humane manner. So we get into the discussions and ask government what provisions that they have made in respect of this. As you rightly indicated, if these banks were allowed to remain in operations and run into challenges and to be liquidated, then we can go through the processes that she had mentioned. But here is the case that the government saw the need to quickly merge them and form another bank out of that. So it means that there is a possibility that some of them could be doing very well. For instance, Unibank had raised lots of issues, but we don't want to go into all those details for now. Our interest is to ensure that to be impacted members are treated under the laws of this country. That was why she mentioned the Act. The Act provides for any law, any job losses, you need to go through the process and ensure that workers are compensated.
Right. That is the process that I was pointing out earlier when I was saying that from our reading of the law, it would be difficult to have these severance packages. But let me ask, you made reference to this a number of times already in this conversation. Do you believe that government took the right step by forming a new bank with these old banks, with these 5 banks?
Thank you so much. If the government thought of establishing a bank to address the challenges that they're facing, they have every right to do that. We also believed that the banking sector had to be reformed to support the economy, if we all know the roles that the banks play in the economy of every nation. So for that matter, that decision must be respected. But that does not mean that they can take that decision and turn away from those who had already been engaged and had worked and contributed their quota. If you want to get into the details of what had happened, then it means that we may be putting blames on one another. That is exactly what we're doing. We are asking that the government should go beyond the decision they have taken and to ensure that the members or the workers to be impacted are also taken care of.
Okay.
You also agree with me that the government has raised bonds, 5.7 million bonds for the consolidated bank to pay the redundancy fee, if I'm quoting them right. So if that is the case, then it means that the government had taken into consideration the need to ensure that the workers are taken care of. So when we get into the discussions, I'm sure they will be able to tell us exactly what decisions they are also considering. Then we can also speak on that.
Are you suggesting that this 5.7 billion bond included the worker severance packages?
It's the comprehensive package that they have. That is what we are asking for. It should be a comprehensive package. If it is for the capital, for the new bank, that is the consolidated bank, then the workers to be impacted must also be taken care of from this bond.
Okay. Thank you very much, John Senanu Amegashi, for joining us. I would ask, though, Dr. Twumasi Bafo, that we are taking these important messages. I'll ask that you stay with us for a few more minutes after the break, because this is an issue. This worker layoff issue has extended beyond the banks and has gone to other sectors. I'd like to get your thoughts on that one. So we'll be back after these important messages. We're talking about the loss of jobs across board. I'm on the line with John Senanu Amegashi. He's with the UNICOF, and he has been saying basically that government should have catered for the sacked workers of these 7 banks when they were winding up when they, of course, were forming the new consolidated bank. He believes that the 5.7 billion bond, for instance, should have included severance packages to these workers. Dr. Twumasi Bafo on the other line believes that a humanitarian case can be made for these workers who are losing their jobs, and paying them their severance packages would even be an investment into the economy. When we come back from the break, I'll ask Dr. Twumasi Bafo why this decision, the layoff of these 1,000 workers and the winding up of these 7 banks is affecting other sectors of the economy. Stay with us.
Building Construction and Property Exhibition 2018 is here again. Ghana's most comprehensive exhibition featuring every aspect of building, construction, architectural and interior design industry. A one-stop shop for all local and international players to showcase their latest products, services, trends and technology. This event is from the 4th to the 6th of October 2018 at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel Accra from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. There will be a forum on the 5th of October at the Movenpick Hotel themed Smart Secure Construction. This event is organized by Image Consortium Group Limited under the auspices of the Ministry of Works and Housing in collaboration with all building professionals. Proudly sponsored by Duraplas, Fox Cooling, YNW Industries Limited, X Natural Mineral Water, Leader Price and Advantage Austria. Media partners Joy FM, Gold Street Journal, DDP, Kwesi TV and City Construction and Property Magazine. Admission for participation is free for all visitors. Call us on 0246 655 392.
Airtel Tigo is undergoing a nationwide network upgrade so that we can provide you with wider coverage, faster internet, and super clear calls. This network upgrade is going to be a smooth one. However, in situations where you have a network challenge, such as no service or emergency, kindly visit any Airtel Tigo shop or SIM upgrade center nationwide to upgrade your SIM for free. You can also call Airtel Tigo on 100 or 0277 551 000 or 0260 000 100. For more information, as we fully round up on our network upgrade. This upgrade will not affect your Airtel Tigo Money account, airtime, or phone contacts. It's what we've all been waiting for as we give you a bigger, better, stronger network that gives you the most. Airtel Tigo.
I am Dr. Acacia. Acacia gives your workers the best customer service and treatment options when the need arises, keeping them healthier and more productive for your business. Acacia Health Insurance. We place value on those you value.
Blow the candles, sound the trumpet, and scream! Media is 50.
Media, your #1 air conditioner and appliance manufacturer, is 50 years old. 50 years of top-notch quality, and we're celebrating it big. Starting from 15% discount on appliances from any Media showroom or authorized reseller. Join the celebration of Media at 50. We have amazing home appliances at great discounts. Tabletop fridges starting at 499 Ghana cedis. 4-burner gas cookers starting at 799 Ghana cedis. Chest freezers are also starting at 799 Ghana cedis. Blow the candles, sound the trumpet, and scream! And so many appliances for you to choose from. One so metal, dear. Remember, it's a celebration. It's Media at 50 big sales on appliances. Visit a Media showroom or authorized reseller now, or call us on 0503 400 600. It's the Media at 50 promotion. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that bed bugs are dangerous insect pests that cause sleeplessness, tiredness, body rashes, anemia due to blood loss, and general discomfort to humans? Unfortunately, they are so difficult to get rid of. They spread in your beddings, your child's beddings in boarding schools, bags, lockers, clothes, everywhere. You may not see them all, but they are there. That's why you need the Innisfly Bed Bug Solution, a ready-to-use effective solution. All you have to do is shake it and spray infested areas, wait for it to dry, and that's it.
Yes, spray the bedbugs out with Innisfly Bedbug Solution now. Households, boarding schools, and other institutions with minor and major bedbug infestations.
Call 05777010000.
Innisfly, beautiful protection.
Bibiara wa melcom. Luciano le melcom. Nofiano ye melcom. What are you looking for? Melcom got it all. Great discounts, Dodo. Yamafia so. Best bargains on our things. Everything here is a bargain. High quality, goods be a priority. So tell your mom, tell Poppy, tell your actually everybody.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
"17 minutes so we wrap up here on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM. We're in the middle of a conversation with Dr. Prisla Twumasi Bafo. She is a labor economist, a lecturer at the University of Ghana, Legon. We were also here with John Senanu Amegashi. He's with Unicoff. So Mr. Amegashi has made the point that, first of all, governments chose to form Consolidated Bank out of these 5 banks. Governments could have allowed these 5 banks to run, looking at the issues being raised by Unibank and all of that. So if government has taking this decision, then it's incumbent on government to set up proper severance and exit packages for the workers who are losing their jobs. Dr. Prisla Twumasi Bafo on the other line believes that it will be economically viable to pay severance packages for these workers, even if the severance packages are being paid on humanitarian grounds. It will be economically viable because these persons can exit into the informal economy and can still support their families. That's the conversation we are having on the Super Morning Show. I'll talk to Dr. Twumasi Bafo in a moment. about the ripple effect of the bank collapse on other sectors of the economy. How come others are, losing their jobs and all of that? Okay, let me do that right now. Doc, thanks again for staying with us during that break. So we realized that this did not only happen within the banking sector, this has happened in other sectors of the economy. First of all, when you see persons losing jobs in media, in the energy sector, even in education, do you see a relation in these job losses across board?
Thank you very much once again. I would say that the financial sector is very critical to the proper functioning of every economy. I mean, it touches every aspect of the economy. But I'm careful in trying to link what has happened in the financial sector right now to reports of companies laying off workers here and there. Bear in mind, we are talking about the national labor market, and these snippets of layoffs are massive to make such a significant impact on the economy. So I'll be careful to try to link it because when did this consolidation happen? It has been barely a month. So although some companies would be affected if they were banking with some of these collapsed banks in terms of access to finance and all, I'll be careful in trying to draw a direct link between what has happened to the banking sector and what is happening in other sectors of the economy. One thing we need to note is that why do companies let workers go? I mean, technology is a critical factor where if your job becomes irrelevant because of an updated technology in the company, you ask to go home. I mean, companies may be asking workers to go home because they are trying to cut down on costs. And in the case of the collapsed banks, it's because there has been a consolidation, which happens in a form of an acquisition really. So I am a bit careful in trying to trace the dots between what has happened in the financial sector and the reports we are hearing about companies laying off workers.
Great. Thanks for that perspective. Just to give a bit of background to the listeners out there, we've seen massive dismissals in GN Media, and we've seen reports of that in Central University, oil marketing companies, other media companies, TV Africa, AIB, of course, Consolidated Bank Ghana, naturally. And then, of course, we are hearing of layoffs in companies like Donkor Logistics and Donkor Security, which are rendering services to the banking sector. Now, we understand you when you say that we cannot link these layoffs generally, and then you're giving some reasons, but shouldn't we still be concerned? Is there something happening that we are not seeing, looking at all of these different companies laying off workers in different sectors? Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Daniel.
Yes, I was saying that looking at, and you have seen these documents. We've sent you some of these links, and I was just going through some of them and saying that the way it's widespread across different sectors, is there something happening that we are not seeing? Should we not be more concerned than this?
It raises an issue that we all have to be concerned about, in a sense that what is happening, why within the short space of time, I mean, companies are laying off workers here and there. Like I said, these are isolated cases, if you ask me, from different, in terms of, with regards to reported layoff of workers with EIB network, for example. I am tempted to link to the collapse of Unibank because it's a subsidiary of it. There are others who might probably be laying off workers because they are not being profitable. Bear in mind, their main motive for being in operation is profit maximization. So if you are operating and you are not making profit, you might want to find ways of letting some people go in terms of cutting down on your cost. With regards to Central University, and like I said, some of these institutions, day in and day out, adopt different technologies here and there. So a job that probably might be done by 10 people, with that upgrade, might be suitable for only 2 people. So I don't think this is really an issue that has gone on the national level for us to be worried and be creating panic about it. But it's still something that is worth investigating to find out why are companies appearing to be suffering and within this period asking workers to go home. Are there policies that can be used to cushion them, support them, to help them hold on to the jobs and ask workers to be more productive and all. But in all this, one thing we also need to keep in mind is that in as much as workers are concerned about their take-home salary, wages and salaries and all, we should also ask about the productivity of the average Ghanaian worker. When you report to work, are you productive? Are you getting the value of what the employer is paying you? These are issues we need to look at because, I mean, globally, when you compare, you see that on average, when you look at the cost of labor in Ghana and the productivity of the labor in Ghana, there is quite a deviation between the two. And in a competitive market, we would expect that labor will receive the value of what it is contributing to the company.
Dr. Friska Chumesi-Bafo, thank you so much for joining us. I must say that the conversation has gotten very interesting. There's a lot more I'd like to hear. I'm sure listeners are as engaged as I am. So we will definitely continue at a later date. But for now, this is where we'll end this conversation. Let it continue in your homes, in your cars, in your offices, wherever you are. We'll take these important messages when we come back. We'll tie a bow on it all. Stay with us. This is the Super Morning Show.
Say